Okay. It's queso. 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 Oh, hey, you there. Come over here. We are going to make an easy cityscape. As you can see, it's not very organized or well made, but that is because this is a quick solution to making a big city scene. This environment took me around 3 hours to make, so not super long. It's a bit heavy on your PC though, so make sure to render it in layers, especially if your PC struggles with particle systems. Alright, now, this render is split into 3 parts. I'll be covering the first 2 parts in this tutorial, and the final part will be in part 2 inshallah, because right now I don't got a lot of time. I'm busy with something. But hey, let's jump straight into the tutorial. So the first part in making this scene is to model buildings. Try and spend like at least 30 minutes just modeling variants of different types of buildings, because trust me, having under 15 buildings will really not work in this scene. Because we're making an entire cityscape, so you want to have at least some variation amongst your buildings. I split my building types into 5 categories. Number 1 was simple buildings that will stand as filler on the land. So you do not need to go complicated with the modeling process of these buildings. Just maybe like rectangles, make a little bit of indents maybe, make some extrusions, maybe some big extrusions. Make sure not to make too many small ones, because remember we are going to array this in a particle system. So the less detailed the better in these simple buildings. The second category is a simple but big type of building that will stand taller than the filler buildings to add some variety. So there'll probably be approximately around only 25 of these buildings in the scene, but these are also going to be used as filler to fill in big gaps. The third category is tall and a bit more detailed. So these buildings will be spread more sparingly, because remember, you do not want to have its particle system to spread it too much, because remember, particle systems are very heavy on the PC, so the more detailed your model will be, the more difficult it will be for your PC to handle it. So these tall and detailed buildings, I just added a little bit more detail. So maybe I added some of the windows in the model itself. So I would loop cut a bunch of loops, and then I'll extrude it, and then I will add a bit more detail with maybe curving the edges or slanting the top of the building. The fourth category will be tall buildings that are bigger than the previous one. So it's basically the same kind of category of detail, just a bit bigger, so that they can fill in more gaps. And the final category will be buildings that I'll hand place throughout the scene to make the scene less random and make it seem like it has more order. Because if it was a bunch of particles of just buildings randomly generated throughout the scene, it would look pretty bad and a bit more chaotic. So I made these buildings so that I could hand place them and make it a bit more organized. Some of the buildings that I made was a weird shaped tall building that was kind of like a round star shape. And I also made something that looks like the Eiffel Tower. I used some wireframes to achieve that look. If you want a time lapse of me building these buildings, then I will add that at the end of the video if you are interested. But right now, this is the short explanation of what I have done. So basically there are 5 different categories. There are 2 groups of categories. So simple buildings that are small, and then there are simple buildings that are big. And the second part will be tall buildings that are a bit more detailed, and tall and bigger buildings that are a bit more detailed. And finally will be the ultimately detailed buildings that will be hand placed throughout the scene. Now make sure to sort them into corresponding collections in the outliner, because we're going to need to make these collections into particle systems. And yeah, that's what I meant when it's going to be pretty heavy, because we are going to make these collections of buildings particle systems. So the more detail with the least amount of polygons you can achieve, then that's best for your scene, because then it'll be easier on your computer. Now we have done part 1. We have created all our buildings, we have put all our buildings in a collection. Well done to you if you have done this. But if you have not done it, then don't fret, because all these buildings will be available on the Patreon.
Are you on?
Oh yes, finally. I don't have much. He's over there! Oh no, step on me. Listen, we need beta readers. They will come by. You'll never catch me. If you want to be a beta reader for our future manga projects, just join the Discord and DM Fork with your reading experience and how free are you to critique. Leave me alone. All you have to do is join the link in the description. And if you get to be part of the team, you just have to read and give critique on storyboards for manga projects we have planned. Guys, go! Take that! Yeah! Also, members of our Patreon get to be beta readers from the get-go. The Golden and Diamond Spoon tier list also gets this entire scene that we are making of here. And there are many other goodies available over there if you're interested. But enough of that, let us continue the tutorial. So we have all our buildings, and I took the liberty of duplicating some for reasons I will explain later. As you can see, we have a special effect going on with this pink color, so let's explain what's happening step by step, okay? So, we are starting with the simple buildings. Now, even though these are simple buildings, they have identical shaders to all the other models I made. The core of the shader comprises of an object info node plugged into a color ramp with two different colors through its random output. I plug that into a mix color set to multiply, and I'm multiplying that texture through the shadows of this diffuse shader. Now we have buildings that have a little variation in color, and they have their own kind of stylized shadow. After that, I added another diffuse shader, but this time it's through a mix color set to color dodge. Now I'm causing the shader to have highlighted bits where the light is most concentrated, because I crunched the color ramp of that color dodge diffuse shader. And see, that gives this nice effect where there are two levels of light on our buildings. Now, this part varies according to which type of blender you have, this next part. I am using something called Goo Engine, and therefore I have something called the curvature node, which allows me to highlight edges of a model. If you got Goo Engine, you can just copy the simple setup that I have going here, and if you do not have Goo Engine, don't worry, because you can just bring in an ambient occlusion node, an emission node inserted into a shader to RGB, and a color ramp plugged into our color dodge mix color that is inserted in front of our entire shader. Then edit the color ramp however you like, and make sure to set the ambient occlusion node to inside to get that edge effect similar to our curvature node. I myself prefer the curvature node, so I'll stick to that. And if you want Goo Engine, I'm pretty sure you can download the source code for free on Google, and you just have to compile it, inshallah. For the final part of the shader, we are going to make our shader get that pink tint we saw earlier. The way I got that was I brought in a gradient node, Ctrl-T'd it, and set the texture coordinate node to camera. That way, according to where the camera is facing is where this pink color will appear. It's important to note that you should only add this part once the basics of your scene is set up, so you know how much you should move the location of the mapping node or its rotation. So the way you set up the pink shader will be different according to how many particles you have, rather than not just a single building. If you're not doing a sunset and it's daytime, you can change this color from pink to a shade of blue. My scene is sunset, so I'll keep it pink. That is the crux of our shader. Everything here is just a variant of this little notary. For example, on this simple building, I swapped the random object info for a solid color through a diffuse shader using less mixed colors. And then I added a brick texture node tree behind my curvature node tree. And for those with vanilla blender, this will be behind your ambient occlusion node tree. The brick texture coordinate I set to object, so if the building is moved around in edit mode or in a particle system, the windows will change. So it's not like it was duplicated throughout the scene. It's more of like different buildings with different windows. It's a bit tricky to get window shapes on most of these models, so you'll have to rotate the mapping node a bunch or play around with the brick width and height like I did over here. And I also changed the bias of the color so that there are not so many windows. So one of the colors I set to black, and then I made the bias lean more to the black color so that there are less windows. I then plugged this brick texture into the factor of a mix color set to color dodge through a color ramp, and plugged an emission and shader to RGB in the B socket with the main shader in the A socket. Now play around with the colors and emission strength to get something you like, and this is where I got like a light orange color with the strength set around 1.4. And that's that building done. The intricate buildings have the exact same shader with only some exceptions, those being the gradient node tree that I added so that they could be shadows to the bottom of the building, and a change in the color of the building. As you can probably see, the gradient tree isn't adding shadow at the bottom of the building, rather it is making the shadow appear at the back at the moment. But when we do the particle system, I rotate the buildings in edit mode to make the particles stand up correctly. And that's when this rotation allows the shadow to appear at the bottom of a model and not the back. So it's best to add this addition once we have our particle systems going, because then you can appropriately add the shadow. And this building is an intricate building again, but it has the same window setup as the previous one. All I did was I diluted the whites of the color ramp of the big texture so the windows are less visible, making a cooler texture. Now, the main buildings, have surprisingly even simpler textures than the other buildings. This tower is literally just a gradient tree darkening a mixed color. I got two separate colors, gray for the platforms and red for the tower, and I rotated the gradient node according to where the sun was facing in the render. This top thing over here is just a plain emission set high. This building is literally the same texture as the intricate buildings with just different colors, and this one has even less nodes than the other buildings, albeit it being the same texture. You might be curious why these main buildings have so little detail in their textures while they are so detailed in their modeling. Well, firstly, I'd say because they are already detailed, so they don't need much texturing. And secondly, they are going to be pretty far from the camera, so they don't need complicated textures. They just gotta look good for where they are, So it's best to edit them fully once you have placed them in your scene. All of these textures should be edited to completion once we have them set in our particle system, but these base shaders will make it easier for us to see the scene come to life once we start adding our particles. And that was it for the first part of this tutorial. I hope you gained some valuable insights into making your own cityscape and that you'll stick around for part 2. Also, big thanks for those on the Patreon. I hope you enjoy the new blend file, and thank you for watching. And here's the time lapse for whoever wanted to see how I built the buildings. Enjoy. Alright, bye.